Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use. So today we're going to be talking about the Jat Kusar, surprising absolutely no one. So this weapon is very, very good. It joins the family of now 3 Blade and Whip weapons, and it's a bit on the unique side because of the ways that you can build it. So, in general, I think this is going to be the best build for this weapon. Barring some elemental switch-ups as needed, this will put out a massive, massive amount of damage and kill pretty much whatever you happen to hit with this weapon. So, the other thing, though, is that this is not actually the highest damage potential build for this weapon. This is for most of the missions in Warframe, which are on the shorter side. If you were to want to go longer, and this may come as a surprise, this build is actually better. The reason for that, and I know, shock and fucking surprise, condition overload on a weapon with a 13% status chance, you're fucking insane. Of course. But Defiled Snapdragon is special. This is one of the best stances in the game, and it has built-in guaranteed slash procs and impact procs. So that, with also a fast-attacking weapon that has multi-hits with a 13% status chance, with 2 elementals on it, means that you're getting guaranteed 2 status pretty consistently. On any hard target, you're going to get those 2 statuses 100% of the time. And bonus, one of them is slash, so armor gets fucking chewed through. So with this, you're going to be able to ramp up to a very, very high amount of damage. However, this one has a much larger ramp. So if you're in a very long survival or something like that, you'd want to go with this build. However, if you're in pretty much anything else, like even a defense that has a break between the waves, you'd want to go with this because the ramp becomes so short. At only a 2x critical multiplier, this weapon cannot do anything less than orange crit and has about, I believe it's a 40% or so chance to red crit. At 2.5, that becomes an 80% chance to red crit. This weapon ramps up very, very quickly, and that 4.8 critical multiplier does a lot of work. So, with that, we're going to show the short game build because obviously these are short game tests, let's say. I am going to show the test at both level 50 and level 150, although, to be clear, on the 150 test, I'm going to make my Excalibur invulnerable, as Excalibur is not exactly the hardiest Warframe in the game when he does not have a lifesteal mod to rely on. So, with that, let's get this started. This test is pretty easy as long as I don't get caught up in talking about anything and do something dumb. So, be ready for me to die if I do something dumb, but otherwise, I should be fine. And you can see this weapon can just absolutely chew through these enemies. Using mostly the blocking combo here, that enemy escaped off the ledge as he did not want to be chewed to shreds. It's also worth noting this weapon has an amazing slam attack that knocks enemies down in a fairly large AoE, and you can see that that makes short work. Also, I'm just going to be an axe murderer now as I hit 2x combo. I'm just going to chase these guys down and absolutely fucking slaughter them. Get rid of the guys who are protecting these, dude. Oop. Well, that hits enemies in the air, which I suppose is actually quite worth noting, because usually Osprey can be very, very annoying. Okay, so these 2. I keep both that. Oh, really? Your knockdown still worked? This weapon does have momentum when it's attacking, but sometimes enemies get away with some shit. Yeah, had to be a little bit more careful there, but you can kind of see where this is going. These enemies are obviously a bit lower level than this weapon should be fighting. Like, I got to a 2x multiplier, and I was just swinging once on basic enemies, so, you know. With that, let's, I suppose I actually don't need to, like, heal anything, because I'm just going to turn on invincibility, and we're going to bump this test up 100 levels. So with this, it's going to become apparent why the stance of this weapon is so good, because it absolutely does not care about armor. And the big, like, move that's good in this is the chomp on the weapon, which is less obvious with the Jat Kusar as it's, like, a flamethrower type dealio. But the pause combo with this weapon inflicts multiple slash procs very, very quickly, which it turns out armor is not a big fan of. Like this guy, for example. Bunch of slash procs, saw the impact in there as well. And that absolutely eats this guy alive. Normally you'd need a weapon with, like, very heavy, like, status to do that, but not in this case. Oh, wrong combo. Use the bad one. And that's the damage that you get when you use the bad combo. Like, not using the pause combo here, we'll just use this one as a test case. If you're not using the pause combo, you're not getting those massive amounts of flash procs, and you're gonna be far worse off. Let's eliminate this guy real quick. Actually missed my chomp. There we go. Much better. But yeah, you can see this weapon, it eliminates. And honestly, like these enemies, like, you have to spend so long in a Visor for these enemies to show up. Like, it's such a long time that you have to spend in a Visor for these enemies to show up. And they will never show up in groups like this. Like, they never appear in, like, such, like, varied groups where, like, oh, what's that? That's 2 heavy gunners right next to each other. That's 2 bombards right next to each other. 2 ancients. It's usually, like, 1 ancient and some, like, bullshit enemies. So kill the ancient in fucking 2 swings and then eliminate everyone else in 1 swing. Like, these enemies are, like, such, like, you don't see these guys. You just don't. And even then, this is the short game build. And it still shreds them. It's obviously no Atarax, but it just fucks them up. Obviously, in a super high armor environment like this, the Mios will perform slightly better, as it has more slash procs than this weapon does. But for everything else, this weapon eats them. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So yeah, that's the Jat Kusar. And I will see you guys tomorrow, or later today. I should be streaming, so come check out the Twitch. Links are in the description. We should be doing some fun stuff. I think we're going to do raids today. Probably that's what's probably going to be happening. No guarantees, but I hope to see you there. Later, guys.